Hi everyone, and welcome to our video on the full moon in Libra coming up on the 6th of April here in the US on the East Coast time. Now, I'm Emmaleen and I'm here with Jim Delacoli. We both have our own YouTube channels, but we get together twice a month to meet up and talk about these lunar aspects, the full moon and the new moon. It's a good time to sort of meet up and assess the astrology, the picture, and see what's going on. So we're excited to get together here again and bring you the chart for next week. We're filming this on the 28th of March. So we're trying to get it out to you as early as we can. Okay. So I don't know if you've been seeing this around you, Jim. We've been talking a bit about it, but there's a lot of people right now who are, feel like, I'm going to say, on the edge. A lot of my clients, a lot of people are coming to me, and they just cannot hold on anymore. Whether it's a relationship, a job, a situation, a lifestyle choice, you know, there is something that has to go. And I think it's so ramped up and it's so intense at the moment. And this chart, what we're going to go through and look at, sort of helps to explain why people are feeling like that. But there's definitely that a little bit of fear, maybe a little bit of tension, and a feeling that something needs to give. Are you seeing that a lot around you at the moment?
Yeah. I just want to throw something in there, kind of outside of this, that I just bored the heck out of Emmaleen, so I'm not going to be boring on this call. Quick, and I'll be right to the point.
We have a lot to talk about at the moment.
Yes. But yeah, there's a lot going on, and the moon today is with Mars early in Cancer, so you might get our instinctual, emotional side a little bit. So hope you enjoy.
Yes. Yeah, and also the moon is Jupiter's meeting up with Mercury today on the 28th of March. Yes. So hopefully we don't talk for an hour on this video.
Try to keep it short.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the points, give you the information you need to get through this full moon next month, because you know the full moon every month is intense. If you know a school teacher, just ask them which day last month was stressful. Look up the full moon, because it's probably the same day. Children are not as capable of handling their emotions when they get intense and they release. So teachers notice it, parents notice it. We probably know when the full moons are. I've got young children, of seeing how the children, you know, are behaving. So if you think about how it's affecting the children, then think about how it's affecting us. So, you know, it's going to be making us feel like there needs to be this needs to go, this needs to release, and this energy is coming out in the process. So just bear that in mind when we have a full moon. It's a very different energy to a new moon, so work with that and give people that space, if they, or your children, that space during the moon.
Yeah, and then we had the Aries new moon, we have this Libra full moon, and then we have another Aries new moon. So it's gonna be on either side, and it'll kind of put this moon in between it. And so the new moons are about what the two new moons in Aries are about, you and what you think and your beginning, and you know it's about your understanding. But this moon is going to test with what you're working on to what others are dealing with. So you're going to see some conflicts, you're going to see some awakenings, and some about facing here. So let this Libra moon help you further where it is you think or need to go. So this will be a very interesting time.
Yeah, it's an interesting contradiction. I always think when I see Libra and Aries, the opposition, because the sun in here in this chart is saying, I want you to shine. Your sun is happy in Aries. So it wants us to put ourselves forwards, put ourselves out there. And then the moon is like, yeah, but what about everyone else? So there's that it's almost like the moon is wanting to create the balance, but the sun is saying, yeah, but I want to shine. So you might feel like there is that conflict coming up with other people around you in some way. You might feel like they're taking your limelight, or that you don't want to be thinking about giving the feelings and time into other people. But with that Libra moon, it's really nice to collaborate, to bring people together. And also, we might be seeking within this chaos, because I feel like there's a lot of intense energy at the moment anyway with astrology going on. But with this Libra moon, a lot of the time we're thinking, I just want harmony and peace and things that are beautiful around us. So you might, during this full moon, actually say, you know what, for my own sanity, I need to get away from this, because that's your Aries sun talking, and I need to relax. I need to shut down my screens, I don't know, shut down my social media, go and lay in the garden on I don't know, a deck chair or something. Just what do I need to do to find my peace and to find beauty around me? That's what Libra means like.
And then to add to that, a reminder of that, listen, you're not the only one here. So there's others, and how's the merging going with either you're instilling them with what you know, or are you allowing them to instill within you what they know? So, and sometimes it's, you got to get away from it all, as Emmaleen just said. So yeah, this is a great reminder each year that, hey, you're not alone here. There's others. How does this work for all of us, and that we become more than just ourselves?
Yeah, and sometimes, when you've got a Libra moon, there is a danger of giving too much of your energy to other people as well. So it's nice that we have that balance there of the sun in Aries for this chart. Have patience around people at the moment. I just think, as an astrologer, you really get to delve deep into people's personal lives, because people are coming to you and opening up and telling you their stories. And there's a lot going on beneath the surface with people right now that maybe they're not telling their friends about, or talking to everyone about, or maybe you're feeling that way, or maybe your partner's feeling that way. So I just think right now we need to have a lot of kindness towards people. And I think the Libra moon really emphasizes that energy as well, is showing kindness, empathy, peace, harmony.
Yep.
Nice to bring that out. Okay. Let's talk about some of the aspects here in the chart. We have with Jupiter. Jupiter's been doing a lot the last few months, because he's been hanging out in Aries, so he is there. I should imagine it's going to be big actually in the next chart for the new moon. It's going to be right there. But Jupiter right now is in Aries. So it's nearly finishing up its time in Aries. So when we look at chaos, when we look at the crazy, let's just think about the Jupiter. Let's think about the Jupiter's like a good luck card. It's the expansion. It's the energy that's very beneficial traditionally. So have a look in your charts. What is Jupiter doing in your charts? Where is it going through right now in your Aries house? Because it's going to move out of that soon. It's doing that in May. It's getting to the end of that journey. So lap up the good Aries energy for Jupiter at the moment, and pull into that with all the crazy stuff that Saturn's doing, Mars is doing, Pluto's doing right now. Let's think about our Jupiters. Think about
it's conjunct the sun. It's conjunct the sun and Chiron during this full moon.
Yeah, it is.
And so it's expanding or bringing opportunities, or helping you deal with wherever the sun, Chiron, and Jupiter are in your chart. So allow this conjunction. Remember, the sun's the life force. Jupiter is the great benefactor, and Chiron is the wounded healer. I hate to just use that, but I think it's where you overcome your illness or flaws or wounds, or that you face them. So huge opportunity to see them from a new perspective, Aries, and take and really like overcome, I guess, and create less obstacles. Or you might bring more obstacles as you're going to a new frontier, but you're ready for them. You're ready to handle them. So hopefully that's the approach here with what you're doing.
Yeah, it's definitely, it is an opportunity for you to identify, maybe how you've been holding yourself back in some way with that Chiron being in Aries, or how you've been held back. And now it's your time to put the cure to that situation, the sun, put yourself out there, make in a way that what you may be addressing some previous pain, some previous hurt, and given the opportunity to heal from that experience. So think about how that is playing out for you, because that is a big conjunction there, Jupiter, Sun, Chiron, all coming together with this full moon.
And then the other conjunction I had was Uranus and Venus. Now Venus is moving quickly now away from Uranus finally, but they're in Taurus, which is Venus is well placed. Uranus maybe is not as well placed, or it's a mutable sign. I mean, sorry, a fixed sign. Uranus is a planet that rules a fixed sign of Aquarius. So insights, truths, understanding of that first Earth sign of Taurus about the base that's trying to be built, or the basics, right? Hey, you're on a physical plane. Sorry, what do you got to do here? What can you do? What are the opportunities? Huge awakenings, because you're just trying to get to the truth. So I'm hoping that's what you're doing here. With these two together, it's really trying to help you.
Really gonna shake up love and money when you get Uranus and Venus come together, especially with a full moon. It's bringing the energy of exciting, chaotic, sudden opportunities that may arise with relationships, or maybe you might have investment opportunities come up. It could be windfalls, it could be losses. It can, with Uranus, it could be either way. It can shake things up and bring you opportunities with the money and love, and it can bring about emotional changes as well, I suppose, because it's Venus, love, relationships. If you meet someone this week with those two coming together, it might be exciting. It might be an exciting relationship.
Yes.
You could watch for it. I was thinking about this. They actually meet up exactly this Thursday, isn't it? So it's Thursday, the 31st. I think they actually come together in exact conjunction. So I was wondering if we'll see another bank situation. We've had two banks have some difficulties over the last couple of weeks, one over Credit Suisse and then one over in America. So this to me came to mind of them two meeting up, maybe more financial shakeups with that day.
Yeah, my astrological opinion on that is we've seen what's coming, and it's being maybe drug out a little bit. But if you truly looked at this, you've seen, you and I talk about it, Emmaleen. I'm not even going to go into detail, but yeah, I think it's been revealed. So let's go. Just look at this for what it is. And don't go backwards here, because Uranus says it's time to go forward. Quit going back unless it worked and can work over long periods of time.
Yeah.
So don't think just because it's always been comfortable, it's going to stay that way. So prepare.
Uranus is exciting energy. It can be a little bit unsettling as well.
It shakes you up. Yeah, it gets you having to readjust. I love Uranus. I love Aquarius. So best energy for us, I think, for right now. We got too comfortable.
Yeah. And also I think it's kind of like with this Uranus story, I was thinking about this, we were talking a bit about it with, what's our values? Over the 80s, growing up in the 90s, for me, it was there was a lot of emphasis on having your goods, your chattel, what's your worth, what's your possessions, how much money do you have, what can you buy? So I think that is really, I think people are really paying attention to that now and saying, well, what does that matter? What do I have to offer? Not what money I have, like what skills do I have? What can I offer the community? You know, I really think it's interesting because there's a connection to the land as well, with Taurus and Uranus being there. And I was saying this to Michael a couple of months ago. I really think that those people that work with the land, they're going to be the ones that are really valued, because the earth is there's been changes in climate and so forth that we've experienced. So those people that have the knowledge of how to farm, of what this land looks like, of what this coastline looks like, they've worked on it for years and years, they've got to know it. Those are the people that are going to be very respected and very needed, I think, going forwards, because they have an understanding that you gain through that knowledge, instead of just oh, well, I've got some, lots of money in the bank. That person was you know, revered in some way years ago. I think people were like, oh, who cares about that right now? I really want to know about this. I want to see how we can maybe live off the land. People were planting vegetables, all this Taurus energy. I really like that. Let's turn our backyard into a vegetable plot. That is coming stronger and stronger since 2018, since Uranus moved into that sign. So I like those shifts. I find those very exciting.
And I mean, I can't even add to that. That was so well said, but I will add this. Those that are doing that to themselves and going internally, you're getting the same results. That's the quest here. Take care of the planet. You got to take care of yourself. Find yourself. What are your values? Who are you? And that's really what you were talking about. If you just step back and look at it, and that's what needs to be done. And then those that truly value themselves and have found themselves for all that they truly are, you're going to have extreme value moving forward. So get on it. Let's go.
As a parent, I find this very exciting, because if you ask a lot of young children at the moment what they want to be when they grow up, they'll say, oh, famous. They don't even know what that means. But they'll say, oh, I want to be on TV, I want to be famous, I want to do stuff and be recognizing it. But what do you want to do? And they're growing up with a little bit of that residual energy, I suppose, from what we had growing up. So I think that is going to change as well. I think it's going to be, just being recognized or being seen, and not having a job, but being able to sort of make money from being known, which is what's been going on a lot over the last 20 years, I think. That shift is changing now. So I think that's really exciting as well, because it's bringing back to our core. Like when we do our readings and we look at our chart, so many people say to me, what am I here for? What am I good at? Where's your North Node? Which house is your North Node in? Where's your sun? What sign is your sun in? All these things you can look at in your chart and say, well, what am I good at? Why am I here? Looking at yourself and your picture and really seeing what you're good at. So those are big, important questions, and ones that I think are on our minds at the moment. And the baby's born right now. It's so exciting. And I really think, yes, these babies are going to have this energy in them. They're going to grow up to show us when we're old. This is the real purpose. This is the real meaning. So it's an exciting change.
Yeah. So if we go to the next big aspect is opposition, and I have the moon opposite Sun, Jupiter, and Chiron. So we've kind of been talking about that, right? Yeah. You versus others.
Yeah.
It's really the only oppositions major. And so again, it's who are you, and then are you merging that with others, and are you allowing them to be open enough to show you who they are? I mean, I think that's the quest with this moon.
Yeah.
And this opposition.
Exactly. And it might feel like there's a bit of people are bringing out their emotions. Jupiter opposite them. Yep. Other people are bringing out in some way what you feel emotional about. So that would be interesting, actually. So we've got some squares and some trines as well going on.
I had Mars square Sun and Moon, and Pluto square Mercury. So you want to talk about those, or?
Yeah. So Pluto with Mercury. Now, this is an interesting square, because I think you're gonna be saying about the digging deeper here, Jim. Looking for the truth, because that's definitely what this symbolizes. So that's going to be interesting with the information we get up as well. But it's also very critical thinking. You know, people that have this aspect, they're very they're able to dig deep and to look at stuff. So it sometimes can be a challenge in the way that you're thinking or what you're thinking about. So maybe there's a situation that forces you to go deep, look at your psychology, look at other people's psychology. You might feel like with the Mercury energy that conversations might make you defensive in some way. So try not to pull into that. Don't get in the fighting spirit. Get in the open in your mind. Putting it open to allowing it to be open to gain some knowledge. It's a great time for transforming intellect and using it to think about, you know, real deep issues and your maybe inner psychology.
And then because my chart, I have Scorpio or at the top, and Pluto exactly conjunct Uranus. I always say, here's a chance to, if you are extremely emotional about something, a topic or whatever, and we get a square like this one, I would take it, I would take on the task if it was me. Why am I so emotional? What makes me feel this way about this topic that is exposing itself at this time? And then maybe it's because you're hiding yourself from not having to deal with it. Maybe it's because it might be the biggest, fattest lie that you won't look at to reveal it being a lie because you're so adamant about it can't be a lie. I'm going to put the task to you to just wake up and remember the Pluto's the soul, man. So that's about all your lifetimes, all your knowledge. And maybe you got hurt so damn bad that you don't want to deal with this or look at it. So I'm going to ask you to, if you're emotionally stirred here, dig deeper, you know, and maybe you'll find more of a truth versus a lie. But in my life, I've had to find out what was the lie so I could find the truth, because I couldn't even get to the truth because I was on the maybe a part of it that was more not truth than more of actually being the truth. So you might be fooling yourself here, Pluto, Mercury. So I'm looking for lies everywhere, and it'll get me to the truth, because that's all, you know, I want to find out where we need to do what we need, where we need to go and what we need to do.
Yeah. You know, Pluto is going to be doing that a lot this year. So it's going to there's a journey here in uncovering information that's going to make us move forwards.
Right. The other square is Mars with the sun and moon. So you're going to find yourself passionately, you know, hopefully discussing, working on things. Mars is now into Cancer. So this is from the instinctual side, moon driven, right? You might find yourself a little more passionate about things. I love that. I want to know who you are, what you are, because it's from the Cancerian side, and Mars is, I mean, the sun and moon are trying to, like, hey, we got to begin anew. Maybe you can see things from a better or different perspective, and let this square help you. But don't kid yourself. You might get some opposition, or you might get some, you know, you might stir some passion here in ways that you didn't see coming. So be ready for that. And you might react and be a little more explosive than normal. So know that as well, as you're dealing with this square.
Yeah. Yeah. Can also give you maybe a little bit of charge, a little bit of vitality in some way.
Yes.
Okay, so the trine, we talk about the trine we've got going on here as well. The Mars again, Mars trine. So Mars is trining Saturn. Now, this is an interesting one because, you know, Mars is not happy in Cancer. Saturn is not happy in Pisces, but a trine is a nice aspect. So it's like, oh, we're trying to flow. You're not happy, Mars, Saturn, you're not happy over there either. But how can we work together here? Because we can bring out some good stuff in within this picture. So, you know, Mars in Cancer, he's you know, can be a bit crabby, can be a bit irritated. Saturn in Pisces is like, I want to build structure and responsibility and boundaries, but I'm trying to build it within stuff where, you know, there is no concept of reality, there is no boundary. So how are they going to work together? And what they're going to do is they're going to say, this is the long distance run, the marathon, the stamina. This is the ability to be able to move forwards and work long term on some projects, on your ambitions. So know that we have the tenacity, the willpower of this full moon to see the job through, and pull into, in some way, you know, there is that element of you know, maybe I can't quite see what I'm building boundaries in, and maybe I'm not quite happy about doing it because Mars is crabby, but we can follow through and get it done with this energy. So it's a nice one to bring in.
Yeah, and I whenever I see water signs holding planets that want to have like rules or boundaries, or remember, water goes to the least path of resistance. So I'm going to beg you to back off a hair, take this trine, and remember that it might frustrate the hell out of you, or it might not make sense. But water, if you give it the chance, is going to break it down to the form, the most simplistic form where you can make it make sense. So let it flow. Work with this here. Don't try to fight it. Don't try to own it. And you might come up with some solutions or some understanding that you always had, but you're just reintroducing yourself to that understanding. So allow that to happen.
I always say, Jim, never underestimate the power of water.
Absolutely. It's the most, to me, it's the most powerful force going. I believe that. So
yeah, and I think that can be misunderstood sometimes with astrology, because people go, oh, water, it's very flowing, it's very cleansing, it's very beautiful, but yeah, you don't want to mess with the tsunami, you know.
yes, yes.
So people often forget the power when they've got a lot of water in their chart. They're so connected, they forget about their strength, you know.
Yeah, the strength is quiet. That's why they say watch the silent ones, right? So
yeah,
yep.
that's a good one. Yeah.
So
yeah, like
yeah, and then the other trines, Pluto and Venus, and
yeah,
I think Pluto being the soul, and Venus said, "I want ease. Come on, let's go." There's some answers here for you. Huge opportunities here for you to I say totally transform yourself. With Pluto trying to find the truth finally, but it's shown you the lies and the what wasn't the truth, or what wasn't going to be sustained. And Venus wants to make it a little easier. So I'm going to say get the viewpoint from afar. Get that 40,000 foot viewpoint and see the big picture here. I think this will give you an opportunity to really see how others deal when you look at the big picture of the moon in Libra and the sun being in Aries, and then see how you deal with them. And how's that interaction? How are you understanding them, and are they understanding you? Huge opportunity to make this work to another level. So I'm hoping you take this and let that happen.
Go in a bit, do some psychology work, and prepare, because the next video we're talking about the eclipses. So let's use this one to not have as much chaos as the next one that's coming in some ways.
Yes.
You know, eclipse seasons are very chaotic, and we're moving into it now. April is eclipses and May. So that was for the next video.
And that's going to change. They're going to change signs and get in the Libra Aries axis. So we're going to finish the Taurus here. We're already, we're going to experience the Aries, but it'll finish the Taurus Scorpio that we've been under a little over a year and a half. And then we're going to head into that Libra Aries. And remember, those are cardinal signs, action, beginning, where are you going? Cardinal sign says you must take action. So these eclipses are now going to get you moving again, and not so fixated on events and things that have gone on.
Yeah, so I hope that helps. I hope you can use this to maybe spend some time thinking about your feelings and how they relate to other people around you in some way. I think that's what this full moon is liking us to do.
Yes.
And are you done with the chart, Jim? I was going to stop.
I'm done. Yep, I'm done. You want to talk about the class, the live
Yeah,
class? Or
I was going to say, so you have a new video that's going to be coming out on your channel soon that you're going to be working on uploading. So watch out for that, everyone. And I've been doing some weekly astrology updates with my husband, Michael, who's a coach. So that's on my channel. You can see that on Big Three Astrology on podcast or just on my YouTube channel, Emmalene's Astrology. So that's stuff that we're working on. But also once a month, Jim and I get together and we do a class where we go over the astrology for the month ahead. And we go through each and everyone's chart in that session as well and give you sort of a 5-minute teeny tiny mini reading on where's the energy for you and what's happening for you with this chart, because we can look at astrology like we're doing right now in the mundane, but what we have to all learn to do is to apply it to our chart. So we try and teach that, we try and show people how to work with it. So it's a great way to learn, it's a great way to get some insight. So you can get tickets for that via Eventbrite, and I'll put the link on my channel, and I think you've got the link as well, Jim, so we can put that out there. This next one that we're doing, because we do them once a month on the last Sunday of the month, so the next one is April the 30th, and we're doing it on that day at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because we've had a few people in the UK that want to join, so they can join in at 8 o'clock in the UK. And also we've had some people from the West Coast, so that will mean we can try and accommodate the best for everyone with that time. And if you buy a ticket and you can't come, let us know, because we can always, look at your chart and send out the recording after as well. What we've got to do.
It's a lot of fun. And then we think one of the biggest things is because we actually will pull some participants' charts, so you could then see how we read. Because we're just open. We try to tell you exactly what we see, and then it'll help you further your education in astrology, which is all Emmaleen and I are trying to do, is help you find yourself and find ways to find yourself, right? Through astrology. So I think it's a great tool, and hopefully get plenty of participants there to help you then on your journey. So
yeah, I think I don't know how you started learning, Jim. I think you just went straight to books, but for me and a lot of astrologers I know, I went to Jim has been doing these classes for years and years and years and years. So I went to a lot of your classes, workshops once a month, just listening to astrology once a month and seeing how it's applied. That is a good first step to learning, because a lot of people ask me, how do I learn? I say, well, just join a monthly workshop, or go and sit with an astrologer once a month. And if they do these, group meetings, which a lot of astrologers do, because they're trying to teach. So do that at the beginning, just to get familiar with. I mean, I also did a monthly class in person here in Charlotte at a separate place as well. And I had a student who's now an astrologer, she was doing these monthly classes and monthly workshops. She just then went on, did some courses. So it's a great way to learn. So if you're interested, check out the class that we do, or workshop, however you want to title it.
And there's no better gift, this moon that we just talked about being in full moon in Libra, there's no better gift that we can give each other on this planet than to help each other find ourselves in our own quest, and then through each other's help. And that's really what this is all about. We need to, 1 + 1 needs to equal more than just 2. And that's what Emmaleen and I are trying to do, and to prove that can happen. So
yeah, so check it out. We'll be excited if you join us. And let us know about the times. We're trying to find a time that works for everyone, so it's tricky, but we still haven't figured out how to get the Australians in with that time zone yet. And we're trying our best.
Yes.
Okay, well, thanks everyone. See you on the eclipse video the next time. Second new moon in Aries this year, so that's going to be a big one. So watch out for our next video. Subscribe and like as well if you can.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.